story, a portrait that is emerging of Jordan Neely. The 30-year-old New York City man who died after a fellow subway rider put him in a chokehold. Sources tell CNN that Neely was homeless and had a history of police encounters. That includes 42 arrests, from larceny to attacks against women. And on the day that he died, however, witnesses say that he acted erratically on the train, but that he didn't harm anyone. And at least one witness says that the man who headlocked Neely came up from behind. Now, CNN has not independently confirmed what exactly happened leading up to this incident, how long Neely was restrained for, or whether he was armed. But we know that hours later, Neely was pronounced dead at a hospital. Friends say he struggled with homelessness and hunger, mental illness, and personal trauma. His mom was murdered when he was 14. Her body found days later in a suitcase in the Bronx. It was a brutal event that friends say he never recovered from, even as he tried to move on as a dancer. Video shows Neely performing years ago as Michael Jackson. And joining me now is Moses Harper, a fellow Michael Jackson tribute performer and a friend of Jordan Neely's. Moses, thank you so much for being here with us. First, I want you to tell us about your friend, Jordan Neely.
I met Jordan. He was a teenager, and he was very excited about celebrating Michael Jackson's legacy. It was refreshing to see someone so motivated to celebrate something positive, even though some of Michael's music was way before his time. Not only did he appreciate it, but he was able to connect with different people from all over the world who were in mourning in 2009 when Michael Jackson died, and connecting and being kind and meek and sweet and open-minded. I loved watching him.
What was it like for you to hear about his death, to watch that video that we've all now seen?
I heard about his death in between doing outreach with kids in the Bronx. Someone who I'd worked with in the past sent me the story, and I was very disturbed because I saw the name, and then when I saw his face in one of the photos, I was crushed. I was crushed. And I did not watch the video immediately. I waited hours and hours, and members of our community, the MJ family, said, Moses, please don't watch it. And I waited, and then I said, I have to see. I need to see. And I was disturbed. I was disgusted that such barbarism could take place. And my heart bleeds that our human species can still treat each other like that.
Help us understand how Jordan ended up where he was. According to this witness, he was saying he was hungry, he was thirsty, but he'd had so many encounters with police over the years. What did you know about him that can help us understand where he ended up?
I know that him losing his mother, he never got over that. I know that from what he said, he didn't have a strong father figure in his life. I know that the only joy that he really found was in interacting with other members of the community and performing. I know that I did try to encourage him to make sure that he got some things in order in terms of becoming educated and getting a diploma, and that he was struggling with it and struggling inside because there was a lot of pain inside that was unresolved. And it makes a young person really unstable when they're not able to resolve and heal. And it disrupts that. And while I did try to reach out to him, and he said, I'm going to get it together. The last time I saw him, he said he was going to try to get it together. And he was in the street. And I told him,
that you saw him?
2016, that's the last time I saw him. And he was homeless, and I'd never seen him like that.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to try to get it together. I gave him money. I bought him something to eat. I gave him a big hug, and I said, when you are ready to clean up, you just come to me. I have your back, brother. That's my blood going through your veins. I love you. Don't ever forget that, and don't ever think that you should be ashamed to come to me, And he said, I'm going to get it together. He said he was going to do that. And you don't force that on somebody, You do them the courtesy to do that.
We only have a few moments left, but what do you want to see happen here?
The same thing that happens that I've seen multiple times when someone commits fare evasion and they get arrested instantly. Well, someone murdered someone in the train station. They need to be arrested. it's a murder. I can ask 5-year-olds in a kindergarten class, what do you think should happen? And it's common sense mathematics. You don't need a degree to figure out what needs to happen. Accountability, accountability, accountability. And I've been in positions where I'm amidst high-risk populations that are armed and intending to do harm and worse to each other, and been able to de-escalate a situation by using compassion, reason, logic, and knowing how to approach a situation responsibly. I refuse to believe that the Marines are represented by people who would do something like this. This is not how we're supposed to treat people, even when they're in a state where they're having an episode. They're supposed to use intelligence and compassion and know how to talk to each other.
Moses Harper, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very sorry about the loss of your friend.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And coming up next, some